have a couple other guests today, like I just referred to. We've got folks from Organizing for America who are doing a benefit this weekend, and we're going to have information about that. It's tomorrow night right here at the Heartland Cafe. We also have guests from CROSO, the wonderful foundation that is helping kids in Uganda get a higher education. And we have the founder of CROSO here, return visit, Ms. Molly Heineman. So right now, I'm looking at Mark Kaplan. Hello, welcome back, Mark.
Always great to be here.
I think we need to get your mic, get you closer to your mic.
Always great to be here.
Perfect. And R.V. Bowman.
Hi, nice to be here.
Welcome
Thank you.
to Live from the Heartland.
Thank you very much.
So what happened to get you guys here was a former Heartlander who's an activist with at least one or both of these groups. I think this is, you represent a coalition of groups. Correct. And Northside Action for Justice, Mark, is your group?
That's right. And Kevin, who got us here, he was a member of the board of Northside Action for Justice also.
And then also we have Communities United Against Foreclosures and Evictions.
Right.
Now, is that a citywide group, or is it more?
Communities United is a citywide group that really came into existence around the fight against all the evictions that were going on and are still going on in the city that are displacing thousands of low and moderate income residents. So, yeah, Communities United is a citywide organization.
And can I ask about that? Have they figured out a way to interrupt the incredible pace of foreclosures that were going on like 2.5 years ago? Or
well,
less?
have they figured it out? I don't think any of us have figured it out, except that we know some things, which are that the more people are organized and the more public pressure that's put on the banks and the politicians and the financial industry, the better chance we have to change the situation around. And in fact, you know, in limited cases, I mean, there have been a lot of situations where people were being foreclosed on, and they've actually been able, through public pressure, to get the banks to back down. There hasn't been great changes in policy that we've liked to see as of yet, and the foreclosures are still going on.
Okay, and R.V. Bowman, you're here because you are a current or former resident?
Former residents of the Astor House.
Of the Astor House. The Astor House is a neighborhood residence here. It's a large multi-unit apartment building that has had, along with a number of buildings in Rogers Park, has maintained affordable rent over the years.
Yes.
And one of the reasons why, you know, Rogers Park maintains economic diversity is the availability of those kind of units.
Yes.
Yeah. So how long were you a resident at Astor House?
I was there for 3 years.
3 years. So you were there for the previous owners
Yes.
as well. Okay. So just for the audience out there, what has been going on is a struggle on the part of residents of Astor House who have a lot of complaints about the conditions in the building. And this activity, as far as I know, prior to the new owners, which we'll call their BJB, the new
Yes.
owners, and they took the building over last.
On October 31st on Halloween.
So not quite a year ago.
Right.
All right. Prior to them taking over, what was the situation vis-a-vis? I mean, I think the previous guy was kind of forced out by the activity of organizing.
Yes. Before the new owners took over, the building got infested with bed bugs, mice, and roaches. Elevators breaks down where people was trapped on it. We've had flood damage. There's been water damage done.
Yeah, elevator, just so you know, this is a 9 or 10-story building.
No, it's 14-story.
14. Yeah. So when the elevators broke, it's bad news.
Yes, it is, because some people, you know, elderly people, it's kind of hard to get up 14 flights of stairs if you can't walk.
Kinda. as in impossible. And there's
Yeah.
only one elevator, I take it?
Actually, there's 2 elevators,
Okay.
but one is completely down.
So when the other one breaks, that's it.
That's it.
All right, so again, what was the situation just before the other owners cut and run, basically, is what it sounded.
I mean, at first when I moved in, it was a nice building, it was clean, everything, and then all of a sudden, people started moving in who brought bed bugs with them. The mice just started coming, and it started getting worse where the previous owner didn't want to fix anything no more. They stopped paying the workers, so the workers ended up leaving.
Uh-huh.
You can't work if you ain't got no money.
So then, did you see any change or different kind of attention to those same problems when the building was taken over by BJB?
No, when the new owners came in, it seemed like the problem escalated. It got worse. The mice was running around. It was so bad that I had to get a cat just to get rid of the mice in my apartment. Mm-hmm. I mean, the bed bugs just got so bad that about 2 years ago, my daughter was eaten up with bed bugs so bad. To this day, she still has nightmares. She still thinks they're crawling on her. She wakes up at nighttime. Her asthma has gotten worse that I had to get a home nebulizer for her.
Wow.
That she has to use in the morning and at nighttime. I mean, it's just gotten really bad, and it seems like they don't care. All they care about is renting to college students instead of trying to keep affordable housing for people. You know, some people can't afford a lot of money for rent. And especially me, I'm a single mom. I can't afford a lot of rent. Mm-hmm. You know, and the reason I do the things I do, because I care about the community as well as other people. You know, and I think it's a shame, though, that you got to put people out just to try to make a little bit of money. Why can't you keep housing affordable and still keep people there? I mean, you could still make your money.
I think, I don't know the answer to that question.
Yeah.
So how the organizing effort at that building, does it involve very many other neighbors like yourself?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of neighbors. You know, we've done protests out in front of the building. We've actually been to Joe Moore's office. You know, I went to Joe Moore's office and I took him pictures of the conditions in the building. Mm-hmm. I showed him where flood damage was done, where my cat actually killed a rat in front of my refrigerator and left it there. You know, I mean, if Joe Moore seen all these pictures, and the only thing we was asking for him to do was bring BJB, have him sit down at the table and try to negotiate something with us. You know, I mean, it's hard to try to find a place to move. Because some people, they look at where you come from. Well, you come from 1246 West Pratt. Oh, that's got bed bugs, mice, and roaches. People don't want to rent because they think that you're going to bring it with you.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been on YouTube. I took a lady around where she interviewed me, and I showed her where stuff was done. So if you get a chance, go on YouTube, check up 1246 West Pratt, and look at the videos and stuff. You know, I mean, I feel bad for anybody who's renting there. I've actually stopped a couple of college students from actually renting because I told them about the conditions. And one man, I mean, his son moved in on July the 1st. By the end of July, he moved out. He made them break his lease, or he said, we're taking you to court, and we're going to get twice as much as what we put into it, because they didn't tell him. His son started getting eaten up with bedbug bites. I mean, it's really a shame, and the things that we're doing, we're not trying to hurt nobody. I don't care about somebody trying to make some money, but do what's right. I mean, why put people through? You know what me and my daughter went through? I wish on nobody, and if I could change it, today I would. And even though I'm not a tenant no more, I'm still going to keep fighting with them. I'm still going to keep doing what I have to do. Because it's you know, people's helped me in the long run, and I'm still there for them.
Wow. That's a pretty sad tale, Harvey.
Yeah, it is pretty sad.
And I know it's shared by many, actually, across the city at this point. But, you know, the infestation issue is kind of epidemic at this point.
Yeah, it is.
It's everywhere from fancy hotels to my building had an infestation a couple of years ago, and people actually did have to get rid of all kind of stuff. Some people moved out. The landlord it's hard to treat those things with people still living in the building. These guys had worked with. Have you worked with Metropolitan Tenants Organization, MTO? Yeah. And so are they still part of the coalition? Mark?
They're helping somewhat. They're not directly involved right now. I think what we have to understand is that what's happening at the Astor is part of a plague that's happening all over the city, especially on the north side. We've both been around the north side for a long time, and this really is the worst real estate speculation that I've seen since the 80s, when the condo craze really came in very strong, the early 80s. Now the market on the north side for speculation and gentrification is buildings like the Astor. There are a couple of large companies. There's BJB, there's another company called The Flats, and what they're doing is, this is the market. They buy these very large, small unit buildings and that were formerly affordable, and then they kick the people out, remove the people, then they'll do repairs, and they're going to be marketing to the people who formerly were buying condos but won't buy them anymore because of the real estate market tanked, and there's a real fear of buying. So, there's all kinds of statistics about how younger people, when they poll them now, people coming out of college, even professionals, are not into buying things anymore. Okay, so these vultures see that, and they say, how can I make money? I'm going to make money by buying these larger buildings, upscaling them, and renting them for unaffordable prices. And that's what's going on. In the last 2 years, we've lost close to 1,000 units of this kind of housing. BJB alone now has the Astor.
In what neighborhoods?
Lakeview.
Or is it just all over?
No, it's Lakeview, Uptown, and Rogers Park. So, just for example, BJB bought the Abbott, the Diplomat, the Sheffield. They bought the Chateau, and now they have the Astor. The Flats bought the Norman, which was formerly affordable and in very good shape in Uptown, and now they bought the Lawrence House that was previously also owned by the Manettis, the same people that milked these buildings. And it's really like a Ponzi scheme. They have these slumlord people that buy these buildings, run them down so that the other people can buy them for much less. They come in there, buy them, kick hardworking, seniors, low-income families out, and then they flip the buildings. On the positive side, there's a very strong alliance on the north side and all around the city that's growing to fight this. We have a group of Loyola students that have initiated a campaign to boycott these buildings and are going around campuses getting students to sign and say, I won't live in a BJB building unless they deal humanely with the people and fairly with the people that are there. So things are really growing, but it's not going to move until the political leadership that we elected that says that they're progressive does what they need to do.
Right. I was just going to mention that. We only have a couple minutes more. The last time you were here was during the aldermanic race.
Correct.
And I guess you have your hands full in Uptown with a guy who is sort of actively disassociating or making difficult with his stuff with Salvation Army and a couple of the other buildings, trying to change the face of Uptown, basically. And has he been learned to be more responsive in your eyes?
Well, he certainly backed down on the Salvation Army issue, but that's because there were thousands of people around the city in front of his office, and it became an issue. But let's just be clear. Joe Moore, in this particular case, and I know that a lot of people support him, that on a lot of issues he's very progressive. Mm-hmm. In this particular case of this housing, he has refused to broker a meeting between the tenants and BJB, whereas Alderman Tunney, who is not known as being this great progressive on most issues, did do that in some of those buildings in the 44th Ward. And when that was done, there was a mutually acceptable agreement between tenants, and now Tunney is working with, to broker some affordability there. Alderman Moore, on the other hand, has been very steadfast in his refusal to broker anything, and we need political support. We saw in the 46th Ward when Alderman Schiller was the alderman. It's very, very hard work to keep buildings affordable.
Right.
But she
It is.
did it.
Yeah.
She did it with working with the community and just devoting a lot of energy into finding developers who would come in and do this.
And to be fair, Rogers Park has also had a history of trying to hang on to affordable units, both all across the ward. So this would be a departure to find that both the political leadership as well, along with financial players,
Right.
are working hand in hand. That would be a departure for this hood. So.
It is. That's why we're
appreciate-
scratching our heads.
If someone wanted to hook up with you guys, is there a website or is there a way for them to reach you?
There's a website. There's a couple of websites. There's Northside. It's info
at
Northside Action for Justice.
okay,
There's, as Arby mentioned, there's different YouTubes and postings. There's an Astor House website,
okay,
and but we urge people, if they support this, to give their alderman, if they live in this area, a call and say,
what's up?
well, what's up, or why don't you just broker a meeting between the tenants and VJB?
Yeah, knowing as we do the endless meetings that get called in this community for just about anything, the zoning change, etc.
Right.
It's kind of hard to figure why a meeting would not be an acceptable course of action for
Right.
starters.
Well, we're scratching our heads.
Well,
Yes.
I'm sorry to not have more time, but I don't. R.V. Bowman, Mark Kaplan, thank you for your activism and your commitment to fairness and economic diversity. I agree. It's part of what we love about Rogers Park, and I'd like it to stay that way myself.
Thank you.
Thanks for your work. Let's hear it from Mark Kaplan and R.V. Bowman. You guys.
Thank you.
Let's take a short musical break for our next guest, which will be Molly Heineman from Croso. And we're listening to Live from the Heartland at 88.7 FM, Chicago Sound Alliance. And we'll be right back. Or maybe we'll just stay here.
Gonna lay down my burden down by the riverside, down by